All right, today on Vast Motorsports, me and Jasper's out here going to do he jumped on down. We're about to do the four-wheeler seat cover. I just bought this thing probably 4 or 5 years ago, but it sat outside. I didn't ride it. It was needs some work and sitting out there for a couple years. And then I guess, I don't know, 8 months ago or something, 6 months ago, I got the thing out and started working on the engine. Noticed I had a little crack back here, and I just can't believe what it's done. So anyway, these are pretty simple because it's just plastic. Everything is stapled on. Usually I would go around with my staple removing tool, and sit there and do every staple one by one. But this ain't a boat or nothing like that. That's real nice and fancy, and it's mine too, so I'm going to skimp a little bit. All I did was went along through there and just cut, with a razor so I could take this off. And I'll tell you, the worst thing is when you get the cuts in the material, even on your boats, guys. I'm telling you, you need to get it covered because the foam is the first thing to start going. Luckily, I can't really feel that because those are fairly new. This all happened real quick from starting to ride it, I guess, after it dried out. And but back here I can feel. So with all these goofy turns and curves it's got, I'm going to use just a scrap piece of plastic real quick I got. I'm going to have to make a pattern down through here and just stay on the top edge and actually sew a side around it like a motorcycle seat would be. But let me just throw this little pattern together. You can use a better piece of plastic, of course, but I don't need it. I'm just going to make a quickie. And then I laid out my pattern, left a 1/2 inch overlap on each side, and then just going to cut that out real quick. Have my top layer. It's just going to be a simple wrap around the back design, and that way just the top plate coming up. I'll be able to sew a piece on here so it'll fold over in the front, and I'm going to make my sides now, bring them around and go ahead and sew them on. Alright, so when I had the top plate on, I made my little side lines. I went in about a 1/2 inch smaller. And now I'm going to make my side plate out of the same piece of pattern I was using a while ago. And so I'm just going to come down through here. I'm not worried about the overhang. I want enough to be able to reach around and staple it. But I'm just going to do a rough little over that line that I got there. I can see it through the clear plastic. Doesn't have to be perfect and all that. On this one anyway, if I was doing a real seat, I would be a lot more inclined to make it real nice. And hold it out like this and go around that edge. And then I've got my match mark there. And I put that mark because I want to be, I want to make sure I've got it lined up good this way when I put it on. So that's pretty much it. So I just laid it out real quick, threw a couple things on to kind of keep it from sliding around. On this top edge here, I'm going to go around and leave a 1/2 inch, put my match mark, and around the bottom here I can leave a little bit extra because I even trimmed over here. I just need enough to wrap around and staple it. Then I laid it back over because I need an exact opposite for the other side. And sometimes they will not be exact on both sides, but this is such a small seat, and it will be. And now I got my patterns laid out, and I'm going to just match up my match marks and then flip these together. You have both the outsides facing each other, and I'll be able to just run a nice little bead down through their seam. So once I took and folded it inside out again, or the right way, how it's supposed to be, that's how she looks. Might not look like much right now. I hung it on there and it fits nice. So now I was just going to go back, and instead of just leaving it a single seam like that, I was going to do a double stitch, and that way it makes it a lot stronger. But it would be fine like it is. It's how most seats would be done, especially just a cover or whatever. So that's the difference is when you run second stitch down through here. Makes it a lot stronger than a single. It's called a double. And, as you can see on the inside, it's folded over, and so it's going through all the material instead of where this one's just going through the layer, but it can rip easier. So then I went ahead and cut the foam I was talking about and just glued a piece right in the center there. It wraps all the way around the back. That way when Becky or somebody on the back, it gives a little more. Actually, it'll be comfortable anyway. So now I'm going to get the cover thrown on. Now I'm just taking an air staple gun. I'm going around. I'm going to put some staples in and flip it over and get it pulled tight again. I'll put a couple on this side. See what we got. Kind of difficult to, I got to stretch it a little bit. Let me get some more staples. So now after I stapled it on the back side and I just cut off all the excess, doesn't matter what it looks like under here. It matters what it looks like here.
Looks great.
Yeah, it's decent. Got the double stitch up through here. There's not many four-wheeler seats that are done like that, but anyway. Looks pretty good. A lot better than what it was.
Yep.
That's for sure. Glad I could knock it out and have a new seat on there. Because the one that I bought, obviously, was not a very good material. But anyway, I wasn't trying to make it perfect. It's just a four-wheeler going to be left outside in the rain. And Mom and Jasper was helping out.
My favorite
Thank
dog.
You. Yep. Jasper. Hey, boy.
I love this dog.
He is a good one. All right, let's get the four-wheeler seat back on.